A Vermont-based production company has a new film out, and you can see it next week at Essex Cinemas. Our Don Amato spoke with the director about the project.
Joining us with more information about Far Out, life on and after the commune, is director Charles Light. Thanks so much for being here.
Honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So tell us a little bit about what this documentary is about.
Well, it traces 50 years in the lives of people who lived on two communes, one in western Massachusetts and one in southern Vermont. The farms began with a group of radical journalists from an outfit called Liberation News Service that had a faction fight, and a group of them came up here and established these two rural farms. And at that point, they essentially turned their back on politics, got into sustainable farming, tried to make a life up here, and did that to one degree of success or another. And then after about 5 or 6 years of living off the land and sort of being pioneers in the Back to the Land movement and a giant surge in population growth here in Vermont and also in Western Mass of newcomers, got back into politics.
Very interesting.
And, yeah, essentially there was a plant proposed, a nuclear plant for Montague, and the folks at the Montague farm, where I lived at the time, got very involved in anti-nuclear organizing. And the film shows the story of both them living on the land, living communally, trying to figure out their relationships, trying to figure out, how to live in a rural environment, and then their progress back into the world, essentially.
Very cool. So tell me a little bit about what it was like putting this project together. How did you get it accomplished?
Well, it really took place over 50 years. We got into documentary filmmaking in 1973, and that took over our lives, especially when the nuclear plant thing happened. We created 5 or 6 films on the nuclear issue, one of which was wildly successful. For an underground sort of film. At any rate, we revisited the issue a few times, mainly in the late 80s and early 90s, about doing a film about the farms in various iterations. We made a few trailers, tried to raise money, didn't succeed, and put it on the back burner. Then in 2006 through 2010, we brought it out again. We did a bunch of interviews with the people who were now in their late 50s, early 60s, and again, produced a trailer, tried to raise money, didn't raise money, didn't raise enough anyway, and gave it up again. And then 2 years ago, I said, this has been on the back burner like forever. So I sat down and essentially put all the film we had shot over the past 50 years, along with the more contemporary interviews and the interviews we did in the early 90s and 80s, and created this film.
Wow, sounds like certainly a labor of love after all these years. And what do you hope viewers take away from the movie when they go see it?
Well, the response has been phenomenal. We had an opening night at a theater in Brattleboro called The Latches, where they were going to play it for a week, and there were 550 people there. And it had a profound effect on the people. You could feel it. And it wound up running at the Latches for over a month. It did the best box office there in the last 5 years, other than Barbie. So I was astounded by the response, the emotional response you felt from the audience.
Certainly, a lot of work has gone into this over a number of years, and we'll have a link to buy tickets to Thursday's screening on our website, WCIX.com. Charles, thank you so much for being here and telling us about the film.
Okay, thank you very much.